Recording.
All right,
Well, this-
let's bring this meeting to order. This is the January 7th, 2025 Newburyport Conservation Commission meeting being held in the community, Newburyport Community Center in the boardroom, and this meeting's being recorded. First item on the agenda are the meeting minutes of December 17th.
Actually, December 3rd.
2024. I wasn't here, but I did watch the thing. Do you,
December 3rd, right? Because we didn't have a meeting on December 17th.
No, it was December 3rd.
oh, it was December 3rd?
Yeah, remember we canceled the December 17th because there were no agenda items.
Okay, I'm reading right off the,
Oh,
The
really?
minutes,
Oh,
yeah.
that's my bad. I didn't do that.
okay,
Sorry.
so December 3rd. I think I was at that one.
I didn't watch the, I wasn't there and I did not watch the. So I guess.
Oh, so you weren't there on December 3rd?
No,
Oh, okay, well, you're in there according
It
to,
says you were.
no, this must be the wrong.
oh, no, we're absent. Okay,
Oh, absent.
right, okay. I was not there for that one, so. All right.
We
And,
have a quorum of people that were
we might not.
No.
Ever, so I think the folks who are here can. We watch the videos, we can approve them, we kind of have to.
there. Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I think Gretchen wants us to do roll calls too. Steve,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Barb,
Yes.
and I vote yes. All right, do we have any Plum updates?
The only Plum update I have is that there's an MRBA meeting scheduled for February 7th, Friday at 11 a.m. at the Peter Hall for anyone interested in attending.
Okay. Okay, so, just certificates of compliance, et cetera. First item is Harold and Catherine Hanson, 1 Bain Lane, request for certificate of compliance.
They're not, well, their representative, Tom Hughes, tonight, who submitted all of this, is not here. I'll just give you a quick run through. If you have any questions, then we can wait for Tom to get here. We can table this until later in the meeting. But this is the site, it's on Merrimack River. 1 Bain Lane is a lane off of Merrimack Street. This is the house, there's a cul-de-sac sort of turnaround driveway here. And the proposal was to put an addition on the back side of the house with a deck and some associated landscaping, and to improve the driveway sort of safety turnaround area, and also do landscaping over there. All the work was in the buffer zone, but none of it was in the 25-foot no disturb zone. These are pictures of the pre-existing conditions. You can just see the house and sort of the landscape around it. And then this is the proposed site plan. So this is the addition in the back corner of the house, with some sort of deck areas and a new entry. And this was the existing deck to remain, etc. And this was the proposed new deck. And this was all the addition in the dark. And now this is the as-built condition, so you can see that they added this deck. And the addition is in this area here, decking, it for the most part is in accordance with the approved plans, except for some changes to the pre-existing patio. This was sort of like this stone patio area that they kind of formalized and enlarged and made a pathway and some steps out to get to there. This was the proposed landscaping around the driveway area coming in, and they added more plants that were proposed or were necessary for mitigation. This is just their form, request initiative for the compliance. These are some as-built photos of the landscape area. So They put in these sort of, pavers so that water can still infiltrate. Do that again here. And they widened this little turn area because it was really difficult for trucks to make that corner without going over the edge. And so they did a minor modification at one point to expand that, and that minor modification was approved by the commission. Again, here's just another photo of the entryway and the landscaping, et cetera. So they established all these shrubs, and that's basically it. Let's see, they've got, and this is their letter from the engineer, with your GEC, just going over and the modifications from the constructed condition from the approved plans. That's it.
Plants have survived 2 years, or is that not a
The
condition?
plants were put in, yes, absolutely. In fact, the most communication I've had on this project was with their landscape architect and the landscapers who've been working on the landscaping for like the past 5 years. And they came in and got a modification to the landscape plan and have established that all since 2022. In fact, the as-built pictures of the landscaping were submitted in 2022. And then they've been waiting all this time just for the applicant to get around to requesting the certificate of compliance for the whole project. So yes, it's fully like monitored and established. But I'm not representing the project.
Yeah, yeah.
The Tom Hughes is not here. It's not, so that's all I have. That's all I can say about it.
But as far as you know, they've survived and,
As far as I know, he survived, and yeah, the landscape designer, now I'm blanking on her name, oh yeah, Mara Landscape Design. She's fantastic, and she was very, communicative about what she was putting in and how it was doing, and yeah, so.
Yeah.
I'm very comfortable with the landscaping, and they overdid it. They were gonna be taking down 2 trees, they only took down 1, and they added 2 trees and a lot more shrubs than they ever needed to, so it should actually have ended up with quite a bit more native vegetation than was there originally.
yeah, so anything else? No motion?
I'll make a motion to issue the certificate of compliance.
Second,
Right, Steve Moore,
Yes.
David,
yes.
Barb,
Yes.
I vote yes.
Okay.
All right, next item is, Patrick Nesius, 200 Northern Boulevard,
Yes.
RDA, special determination.
That's me.
Okay.
So I don't know what I need to do for you, but
Okay, great, hi, so yeah, why don't you just, I have the sort of plans that you provided, I have them up here to display.
okay.
You can just give the commission a summary of, what's the
What's going on?
situation, yeah.
You want me to come up there and point it out?
Sure.
Sure.
So. Hard to see, but right there you can see there's a set of stairs, what would be on the, the east elevation of the property. But this neighbor had this is my mother's house, so I'm here on her behalf. So this neighbor had the property surveyed and the stairs are actually on their land. So it had been there since '92. We always knew that this day would eventually come, and it's here. So they had it surveyed and we had it surveyed. The stairs are on their land. So we've figured the easiest way to maneuver this is to take these stairs from here and then shift them to this south elevation here. And basically come off the corner of the deck facing down, so it's off their land.
I have your sketch here.
Yeah, so here's this sketch here, so it just shows, where it is, so you can see there's 1'7" is where our boundary is, so it's literally splits the stairs in half, that's the problem. The AC condenser pad has already been dealt with. That went to the other side of the house, but this is the proposed location of the stairs. And then the next one So then this is the, so the stairs are gonna take up about 20 square feet of square footage of where there is currently vegetation. And my plan is, this whole strip of the house is very bare, it's just sand back there. So we would replace grass, basically right along that property line, which came about 42.5 square feet, and then that would be the new location.
And you've got some photos.
Yeah, so here it is, it's gonna be right on the side of this, it's gonna come down right here. And then the next one should show,
These are the
Existing.
Oops. I think I just closed it accidentally, sorry. That's all we've got, because I accidentally closed it.
oh, okay. So if this view was looking down this house, it would be just like this kind of sandy, barren area just runs right along that whole side of the house, nothing growing over there. So we would plant that section.
Where beach grass?
Beach grass, yeah.
Yeah, right along, let's see.
If you want to put a native shrub in there, we wouldn't mind.
Yeah, if I only have about this much, yeah, 1.5 feet essentially is, I don't have much room. But I mean, I would gladly do a shrub versus grass,
Okay.
so.
Do the new stairs require excavation, or what was it,
The stairs?
the new ones? The new ones?
No, so I'm gonna do a diamond, can you go back to the
Yeah.
photo right before this?
Yeah, I'm on a sec, I'm gonna have to open it up again, I just, sorry, I accidentally closed it, but, we are in here. And that's not it. So this one. Or it's this one.
That's the view of the angle going down the house.
Yeah, and then.
So actually is the one you were just on, you zoom
this
out.
one.
Right, so right here, so you can see where the posts of the deck are. So this, where the benches is cantilevered out about 2.5 feet from the girder that runs right there. So we need to do 2 diamond piers right under here to brace this section because the stairs are gonna mount right off that fascia board off the deck.
Now, once the stairs are in the new position, you'll be, in order to get to the stairs and to, you'll be walking, you'll create a path.
So there will be, yeah, so the stairs really aren't used for, it's an emergency exit from the house. So, yeah, I didn't really have a plan, it was more or less just to get these off for the neighbor's sake, just get them moved over now. And then if I have to figure out a walkway scenario, you know, I'll reapply and do it. It was really just to get this out.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty minor what you're doing, but, you know, I think inevitably you're
Yeah.
gonna have a path there.
Yeah.
How big a site is it? I mean, are we really, looks like a lot of vegetation on this, you know, but.
Give the
Yeah, if you
area,
go back to that first. view.
The stairs aren't gonna go over a septic system, is it? It looks
No,
like there's
the old septic is actually over here, the old tank, but no, that's just the vent pipe for the, city sewer.
Oh, city shore.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is all vegetation going all the way around this side of the house. And then the parking is right here, and then this is all vegetation going down.
Okay, and there's a stairway right off the parking, there it looks like, or,
Yeah, so this is the front stairs that come down, and then this is just it was gravel, nowadays it's pretty much just like a sand gravel mix, it hasn't been touched in a really long time.
So are the stairs down from the deck just necessary egress? Cause it
Yeah.
doesn't look like even now, they don't really take you anywhere. 'Cause they
It's
take
just
you.
emergency
Yeah.
egress, yeah.
so I guess. If you're really not gonna use those stairs, assuming there's no emergency,
Yeah,
we're good but I think if you wanna put a pathway in, you need to come back in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I'm not sure where
honestly,
you'd mitigate, because it looks like everything's already vegetated, but.
oh yeah, it is, it is, and honestly, it's really, the situation is just to get this removed as soon as I can. I was gonna just do it, just get the stairs removed and then deal with it, but I didn't wanna be in a situation where we pull the stairs, I close it, and then I'm told, no, you can't, you can't get the stairs back anywhere. That was the main concern.
But it's just the emergency second
That's it.
required egress.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, I remember what issues with it. Yes, you guys do.
Yeah, make a motion to issue. It's a -2 or -2.
Two, probably. We don't have any conditions. Three's for conditions, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, so -2.
A -2 already in.
Can I get a second?
Second,
All right, all in favor, Steve,
Yes.
David? Yes. Art?
yes.
I vote yes.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank
Does
you.
this just get uploaded to the
Yes.
file?
Exactly, you'll be able to download it from the system, just where your application is.
All right, very good. All right, thank you,
Thank you. All right, next one, we have Robert Padalero,
Yeah,
2325 Overlook Street,
okay.
just for extension.
This is the message I got from, Mrs. Padalaro regarding their order of conditions for, 2325 Overlook Street. The project was a, demolition and rebuild of a new house elevated on pilings. This was the plan that they proposed, and they haven't started work, and as you can see from her letter, it's just, financial considerations led them to put a delay on the project, and so they weren't able to start, but they do want to start soon, and so they need a 3-year extension. Nothing's changed on site. Yeah, so.
Take a motion.
Motion to approve a 3-year extension.
Second.
Steve?
Yes.
Betty, yes.
Yes.
David? Yes. Art?
Yes.
Yes. I vote yes. All right. On to the public hearings. Can a motion open the public hearings?
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor? Steve?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Art?
Yeah.
And I vote yes. All right, first one, the first one is,
There's a mill,
Curzon Mill, and that's Tom's.
yeah,
So why don't we move, Tom's,
Is he coming?
he said he was gonna leave the Newbury Concom at 7. So at some time soon, he will probably be here. Or at least online, either way.
Did he get a DEP number, Vince?
yes, they did get a DEP number.
Well, he was waiting for
He was
Natural
waiting for
heritage.
he was waiting for natural heritage, and he got the natural heritage letter, which I have uploaded, and then he just needed to give us a revised plan showing the additional mitigation. And I believe he sent that this afternoon, but it was after 4 p.m., so anyway, we'll wait for him on Curzon Mill.
Oh, it's not showing in, oh, that's the second Curzon Mill one, okay, they do have
Unless he's here.
it.
So, actually, okay, so the next one, which we could take is the Queen Street.
Yeah, Eric, I don't even wanna pronounce the name. Kuno.
Yeah.
A much better way to pronounce it.
Yeah. I have to move it to door.
Okay, 6 Queen Street.
Your engineer's on the line.
Oh, okay, I saw him there, Sam, okay, so let me just, move him over to the panelist, and then he'll be able to address all of this for you guys. And should be. Okay, there it is. All right, so Sam, you can unmute yourself and you could present this project to the commission, that'd be great.
Perfect. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Good evening. This is Sam Colombo speaking with Millennium Engineering. I am filling in for Steve Sawyer tonight, who's the engineer for the project. Before I get started, I just wanted to inform the commission that we haven't heard anything from the Division of Fisheries or Natural Heritage. So we do understand that we'll need to continue following the presentation tonight. However, at this time, we're just looking to get any initial feedback on our project from the commission. If we could scroll down just a bit to see that picture.
Sure.
So the project site is at 6 Queen Street on Plum Island, which is located at the northern end of Old Point Road, with the basin to the north and east and the drop of flats to the west. The parcel we're talking about here is sort of that light brownish home, and then you see the clouded area. The parcel is approximately 6,500 square feet and contains a single family home with the rear yard fronting the basin, which is part of the Merrimack River estuary. And therefore that area back there is all riverfront area. As you can see, there's a pretty defined wall to the left of that clouded area. And then you get into sort of a riprap revetment just before the clouded area. And then on the opposite side of the clouded area to the right. And you'll notice there's a pretty clear gap where there's been some erosion. And it's our professional opinion that, that area will continue to experience some considerable erosion with water and wave energy being directed to that missing gap in the wall. And therefore, the applicants are proposing to replace approximately 34 linear feet of the existing failing concrete block wall. That wall is proposed to be replaced within the existing footprint with large gravity segmental block wall. If we can scroll down to the next picture, please. So that sort of gives you another view of the area we're talking about, where the wall is still intact, but you can see it's starting to tip over. We can go down to the next picture. This is another example of another wall that was permitted and constructed on the island off Blue Hill Ave. This was installed in 2013. That's similar to what we'd be proposing. And another one a little further down. Sorry, can you scroll just a little bit further? Great. Yeah, off Northern Boulevard there. And then
Are those in Newbury or Newburyport?
These are in Newbury,
Okay.
both on the island though.
Remember permitting them.
Yeah.
So can we scroll down to the next picture, please? Scroll pretty far. So here's a picture of the wall in 2022. Next picture, please. Another view of it. And next picture, please. And this is what has happened as of late. These are pictures from 2024. As you can see, the wall has given out, and there's considerable erosion behind the wall, and it continues to erode. If we can now go to the plan view. I'm not sure if it's at the end of this or on a different tab. Great. So if you look at the bottom left, if we could zoom that up a little bit, you can see, there we go, where we're proposing the 34 linear feet of wall with the large segmental block walls. The final design will be provided by a structural engineer. And additionally, behind the wall, we're proposing to reestablish the dune vegetation, and that's shown in that sort of green hatch area. And then lastly, the applicant would also like to relocate their sand path. You can see as you move from the deck of the house towards the proposed wall, previously it sort of veered off to the left. They're proposing it to veer off to the right towards the wall, and then add a basic aluminum ladder for water access, you know, for kayaking and whatnot. And then if you scroll up just a bit, it gives you a quick section view of the wall we're proposing, and you'll see our plan is to bring the dune vegetation right up to the back of that wall. That's pretty much all I got. I'm happy to answer any questions and eager to hear any feedback you guys have.
Can we go back to one of the last pictures we saw? That one. I'm just curious where all the wave action is coming from, because it appears that there's salt marsh on the other side that would, I assume, mitigate the wave action.
Can I make a comment on here, because I'm a neighbor? And so I have continuous pictures, I have videos of what happens in the storm and at high tide. So since this wall has failed,
Actually, what's your name also?
DJ Magnani,
Okay.
okay. The water now, instead of coming this way, this is my property over here, it comes up over and behind the wall, so it's eroding and pushing as particularly with the winds, as the winds push the basin in, it is now coming behind it instead of in front of it. And this has gotten further and further down. So now, and again, I have videos showing you how far the tide now is coming up to where I am, which is over that way. So I'm supporting them to have the wall built so it's protecting the two houses and this, you know, to the other side of it.
This is low tide too.
Oh, yeah, at high
At
tide,
high
it
tide.
is way up
It's
over.
over where the blocks are now. You see where it's eroded to, that's where it goes to nowadays, when you turn out. Right?
So is your new wall gonna be higher? Go higher up?
That's the question for the engineer, I guess. It goes to the,
Yes, the wall will be higher
Yeah.
than the existing wall.
And is it higher than the adjacent existing wall?
So I believe it's to tie into the adjacent wall. I don't know exactly the height at which it's going to tie into it. If we kind of look at that back section, the section view on the plan set, you can see the top of the wall goes about a block higher than the high water elevation of 5.95. So the top of wall is at 7.5. So you have a little, you know, about 1.5 foot buffer from the high water elevation.
Given rising sea level, you might wanna go another foot or two higher.
How would that affect those of us on the other side if they're higher and I'm back at where we were?
You'll probably wanna go higher too, otherwise you're gonna get flooded.
But it wouldn't adversely impact you. The water's still gonna go
Yes.
where the water's gonna go, regardless of how high their wall is.
I mean, there is a house in between their house and my house. Oh, hi, neighbor. So, yeah, so we would like it.
Right now, the tide is going over the top of the wall, which I presume is sunk a bit.
Is it going up twice a day over the wall?
No,
Like this?
not every high tide, but when we have very windy weather or stormies, and I brought actually some videos just to see, to show in case we needed it, and told them I'd have this back up, it does come up over.
Yeah, because here's mean high water, this lower blue line, mean high
Yeah.
water, and this is higher high water, so this is your higher high tides. So if you're up here, you should be okay unless there's a storm, I would assume. And then, you know, probably get some wash over if there's a major storm, but, yeah.
there has this been given a notice of intent number?
No.
Okay, so we don't know how the state's gonna react.
Right.
So I guess the big thing I have is that if it did impact, I'd like for somebody to, come out and say that it's not gonna impact the adjacent walls, because of going higher. I realize it's only about 18 inches or something that's going higher, but when you start talking about going higher than that, I start to worry about the adjacent properties.
Yeah, so. The edge effect there.
And I guess the other thing is, they don't have a NOI number, and I'd be interested in what the state has to say.
Yeah.
We don't have any problem with design, it's just these questions. And I guess someone had pointed out that the Corps might get involved.
Right, although if that's, it doesn't look like they're working below, well, if they're working below mean high water, then yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so again, there's still some kinks to work out here. Again, we're just looking for some initial feedback tonight. Again, we still haven't heard back from Natural Heritage also. So these are things that will obviously, of course, need to sort out.
Is that backfill, or is that native sand? I mean, is that gonna be brought in, or is that added?
So some will be native, some will likely be brought in. And then obviously our plan is to reestablish the dune vegetation as it was previously before all the erosion.
Do you know how long this seawall had been in place for prior to crumbling? Like when was it originally built?
I do not. I could.
Because I'm Eric's neighbor, and I believe it was built in the 70s, a bunch of the neighbors got together and agreed to
Right.
pool their resources and get it done.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's connected to all those other ones out there that were done at the same time.
Now, obviously, it's in my best interest for this to be repaired, because if it deteriorates, it's only gonna get worse and spread to other properties.
Right, that's why we're supporting it.
I don't know if the Corps have something about some year at people 78 or something.
78 or something like that. That's the
Yeah.
Wetlands Protection Act. Or it's in the guidance for document at some level. I don't know how to pass this.
I would think the next meeting, the engineer can address these questions.
Yeah,
Then we'll know what we're really
yeah,
doing.
and the state's gonna maybe weigh in too, so we'll see where they are. All right, do we have any more questions for now?
I don't have a problem with it if the state and the court don't have a problem.
Yeah.
Which they might.
No.
Okay, do you have anything from the public? The public here has chimed in. Oh, Steve's there.
Steve, I'm promoting you to a panelist in case you want to chime in.
Hello, yeah, sorry, hey, sorry, I was on another, just literally got off another meeting. So Sam, good job, Sam, for helping me out. Yeah, so I think Sam went through everything. This is a repair of a wall. I think I heard a couple of comments regarding where we're raising it, any potential refracting, and potential, issues there. I don't know if Sam had mentioned, I've done 2 or 3 of these in the basin, other areas, but it was over 10 years ago when they were built. So, we will see how this, what we get back from comments from the state. I do understand that typically this is not an allowed practice in the Barrier Beach, but it's basically a repair. And I think I'll sit down with Sam and get, just run through all the the concerns that the commission has, and we'll see how the state reacts. I know they've taken exception to repairs in other areas, but we'll see if it becomes an issue here.
Okay. So do we have anything from the public?
If I'm in the public, I just want to once again reiterate that I am in total support of this, and I can't, you know, I feel for my neighbors and the impact that it's having on their property, and it's a must do, and it is definitely a repair of an existing, so I hope it works out in everyone's favor on this side.
And,
I agree with that.
and for the record, what's your name?
Elizabeth Rugal.
Ludwig Rulo? All right, so you guys want an extension or a continuance to the next, meeting?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah. January 14th? No.
No.
Yep.
21st.
Okay, first.
21st.
Make a motion to continue to January 21st.
Second.
All in favor, Steve?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
I vote yes. Alrighty,
Thank you.
yeah, thanks, Steve. Well, I don't know where Tom is. And without Tom,
Here.
oh, there's Tom. Right on cue.
So you're all sitting
Thought you
here.
were zooming in.
I was, and then it looked like you guys were gonna go on for a bit. I've been in the office too long after being on the beach for too long.
Yeah, well, you made it exactly when you need me,
Should I set it here or?
if you'd like to.
How do I connect to the screen?
You can just, I'll share, you can share your screen through Zoom, if you log into Zoom.
Okay,
It might be easier than me unconnect, I don't wanna disconnect my computer, because
No,
I'm
it's fine.
the owl.
So for that matter, we are now going to, where are we here? Judith Welch, 101 Curzon Mill Road, notice of intent, continued from December 3rd.
for the record, Tom Hughes, Hughes Environmental Consulting. Here on behalf of the Welches. You may recall we had to continue because we didn't have our endangered species letter. There had been a question about whether we were willing to plant some shrubs, and the response from the client was, yeah, we could put 2 shrubs over near the generator, so I had Steve Sawyer look at putting 2 shrubs on the plan. And in the process, we did discover that the generator and a propane tank, and I only discovered this about 2 hours ago. I guess they had flooding in the crawl space, in the mill building. They took out their furnace, they lost heat, and the building inspector and DPW were notified. And they allowed them to put in this propane tank and a new heating system and the generator as part of that emergency thing. They didn't realize to reach out to you guys. So what I'd like to do is in my NOI, I took pictures of that, but it wasn't on the existing conditions plan. But it's on a picture that went into zoning that occurred after the existing conditions and after my delineation. So it's sort of, we put all of this together in the last couple hours. It's pretty straightforward. And then what we'd like to do is up our proposed planting to be in the same general area, to be 6 to 8 native shrubs in the area of that propane tank and generator. So let me,
Is this thing the reason why there are 2 different NOIs on the city, the state?
no, what happens sometimes is they log it in, and then when the fee comes in, for some reason, it duplicates it, and you end up with like a dummy with no file number.
Okay.
So I have Wi-Fi. Let me see if I can get that into Zoom. You need to elevate me or?
Sorry, hold on one sec,
Oh, yeah. Hold on. That's what I was wondering, whether that was gonna happen.
Okay.
stop sharing.
Okay.
Um, I have the video settings on blurred background, so just what, if I take that off, then we can see everybody better. Sorry.
Okay. So this is the NOI that was filed. It's a 2023 aerial, so you can see there's no propane tank and no generator in that. And to remind you of the project, it's a garage. It's in floodplain. It's up on piers or piles. And we're creating flood storage underneath. We're creating more flood storage per incremental foot, so we meet the BLSF standards. We went through all the performance standards, and I think there were no issues with any of those. The only thing that really had us continue that last meeting was to have the natural heritage thing, but it was the response to the shrubbery question, which, as anybody who watches Monty Python understands, is a dangerous question to ask for shrubbery. So when we uncover this, it seems to make sense to try to incorporate those as an after the fact to authorize them. So let me just get down to my photographs. Okay, so here's my photos. Now, most of the photos that I included in my application came from my site work. This one came from the zoning filing. And you can see they went out later than I had. So there's the propane tank and there's the generator. So what we would do is in that area, put, 6 to 8 native shrubs. My thinking is they're probably multiple rhododendron, which is the rose bay. Which would be a great plant for that area, but what we'd like to do is maybe have that conditional and submit a final planting list to you prior to beginning work. If that makes sense.
A better picture of where those two things are.
So I don't, the best thing I can do is, Steve Sawyer, when I made the request to add that, this was what I had been intending to send in, and I actually sent in until I realized I didn't see the generator in my pictures. He used a couple photos that he had access to roughly put the generator here. And then the propane tank, I think, is down here. There are setbacks from water that they have to meet for building code. And apparently that was all reviewed by the inspectors at the time. These are accessory to a home, so I think they meet the ordinance.
It just looks like they might get flooded right there.
Well, yeah, but I believe looking at that and, let's go back to that photo. This does look up a little bit, right? So it looks like the generator's up and the propane tank hopefully is properly ballasted, but, or anchored down.
Well, we should see it in the river.
So it's, you know, I guess the one thing, so it looks like, I don't think we have that tree located. You can see there's a tree behind it right here. Let me take a look at that site plan now. So we do have trees located, so it's clearly in front of those trees. But that's not incredibly helpful.
Really, so, why did they put it there? Why did-
Because the house is right over here. Remember the house is the
Yeah.
old mill building?
Yeah,
And on the other side of that driveway, right, it's not on that plan.
Right, so the house is, right, let me get to what my. Let's get to this. I think it's actually more helpful to look at, some of those oblique images. So I think what they did is, here's your house, right? Yeah. So I think they, you know, that they don't have heat, they have somebody putting in a heating system, they need the propane for that. And I think as part of that, they basically locate the propane tank at the closest point over here that they can. So the propane tank's here, and then I think they've got a propane tank and they're already ditching for, you know, the propane supply. Then you put your generator next to it. That's,
do they not think there's no room on the other side of the street adjacent to the house?
That's where I would have put
I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
It's not gonna get flooded over there.
And they'll notice it if it starts to wash.
right, I mean, the thing is, look, I don't know, I mean, I think you put yourself in the position of somebody who's, apparently the crawl space had never been wet before, but, you know, the last winter storms, it sounds like it was the April storm that got that thing.
So that was water coming off of the street, it wasn't water
I think,
in the river coming off.
well, some of those storms jammed the river up quite a bit. I don't know that this jammed up that much, but they got water in there, it killed their furnace. They needed heat, they reached out to DPS and they reached out to the building inspector. And your average person, I mean, I would have liked to have thought that I would have been made aware of it, because at the time we had just begun the discussions about the garage. I had done my field work before that happened, so, but they just didn't think about conservation, they were just sort of panicked trying to get heat back. So I think they just, my guess is the propane guy and the plumber doing the work showed up and said it would do good over there, you know, it was.
The building inspector should have let us know.
Yeah, that surprises me that, I mean, it was, when did this happen last week? I wasn't even here last week, so.
No, this was the end of last winter.
Oh, last winter? they put
Yeah,
this in?
I mean, so it went in April or May last year. So I had already delineated, it took a while for us to get the garage designed with the architect in a way that we could then make the flood storage work. So it took us some time to get to the point of filing with you guys. And, you know, so Everett had already done the existing condition survey, which is why we don't have it located on the plan. And, you know, but then when I saw that this had happened, that it's an existing condition that's not now shown on the plan and does require some level of approval, you know, from conservation. My thinking was the best way to do it would be, you know, come in, explain to you guys what happened and try to provide enough mitigation for additional plantings to make up for it. It wasn't an area of existing lawn. It wasn't like they didn't cut trees or remove vegetation for it. So we're willing to increase vegetation. And then my thought would be, we can get Everett to go out and locate it, and maybe as a condition, get you an updated plan with the locations of those things shown. Maybe we could do that with the locations and species of the plants. Put on it.
It's just sitting on a concrete pad. It's like,
I didn't have enough time to even get out there. Like, I thought when they emailed me, when I reached out to them, they emailed back, you know, absolutely, the commission would like, we could put a couple over near the generator. And I thought, okay. And I think I even said to Everett, oh, I don't remember a generator out there. Is there one? And I think he said something to me like, oh, I think so. But it was just sort of, his office is in the same building as mine, and we're, you know, bump into each other kind of conversation. And then I reached out to Steve to get the thing shown, and he said, well, there's no generator in the CAD file.
So, I mean, maybe, I don't know if you all agree, my concern isn't about like, okay, it displaced vegetation or it's in the flood zone or whatever, it's the safety of it being located where it is right there.
Right.
And is it going to be okay during a flood? And
So, right, I get the
and
point.
especially with the propane tank, that's what, I mean, and then what are there regulations that don't allow it?
Well, there are FEMA guidelines
Mhm.
for propane tanks in floodplains.
Yeah.
And they have to be properly ballasted.
Okay,
So,
is this, maybe we just need more information.
right. Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, I mean, what we could do is you know, I was hoping to get it, an approval, but you know, I would recognize it's fair for you guys to want some more information on this, so if we can find that out. I mean, so for example, like you can even bury a propane tank in a floodplain, but it takes an enormous amount of concrete that you have to,
Mhm.
like Newbury
It's
started.
buoyant.
Newbury, after there was a fire on 20th Street on Plum Island, actually approved several buried propane tanks. And they took enormous amounts of concrete to ballast them. But the FEMA requirements are typically like if it's a pile supported building, it has to be properly secured to the pile. But it can be within the flood, it just has, you know, you have to calculate your buoyant
So it
forces.
doesn't go anywhere.
Mhm.
Right. So in this case, I would hope that it's properly secured. But what we could do is we can locate it, we can try to figure that out. The other thing is typically those things are on, you know, some type of a stand, and it may be that the top of the stand may be at an elevation that works with the flood as well.
Mhm. And also the generator, so the propane
Right.
tank and the generator, I'm assuming both need that kind of review.
Right. Right, so why don't we, unless you guys can think of another way to do it, it seems to make sense that what we do is we continue one more meeting, we get the data, get more information to you on those items. I mean, I think the city inspectional folks were trying to help these people out, they didn't have heat, and it was sort of an emergency situation to get that back in. And, you know, I'm sure they want to avoid costly relocation of these things now that they're in. But I'm sure there's some level of retrofit that can be done, especially if we're gonna be out there putting piles in. My guess is we can rig up something while the pile driver is there to properly secure the propane tank if that's needed. And the generator would just be a matter of lifting it up higher if it's too low. I mean, obviously, your generator in the middle of a flood, if you lose power, is not gonna do you a lot of good if it's,
No, it's not. I understand completely.
yeah. You also don't wanna be out there trying to start it in boots.
Right, that's, it just seems
No.
very, unsafe, this whole situation.
No, understood, and, you know, looking,
Yeah, I was out there this morning, actually. Just for a walk, and I walked by there, I thought, "Geez, that looks kind of low."
did you notice them? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause, yeah, it was just a really weird situation to just have that, you know, not quite sure why am I not remembering? I mean, I've had some long COVID issues with memory, so I'm thinking, oh, well, maybe this is just one of these, you know, one of these things, but. Yeah, so if that is, I'm just looking, I know if that was marked on the other plan, but it was kind of in this area, I'm just trying to see if it ever had spot grades on this. So 11.5, 11.7, So we're in that generally between 11 and 12 for elevation, and we've got an AE 12.4, so it's actually not that bad. It's a 1.5 foot. So depending on where that propane tank is resting, it may actually be above a flotation level. The generator may be on it looks like it's on some type of platform, so if that's on a 1.5 foot tall platform, it may be good, and the inspectional services may have actually looked at that. I would hope.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing the additional information. I was gonna ask you about the garage.
Yeah.
How is the automobile access accomplished?
Yeah, so basically what we have, and we have by necessity, we've had to put this very close to the property line. The property line is right here. Right, and, so you come in a proposed driveway where these granite blocks are currently sitting by the side of that section of Curzon Mill. You actually are there's a wall that's installed just inside the property line. And then there's an elevated ramp that constructs you over to a pile supported garage. So you're bridging from a retaining wall that's kind of holding your grades behind you. And then we're cutting down, bringing this down to elevation 11, elevation 10, elevation 9. So the thing is, it definitely is higher over in this area. In fact, I'm seeing right here, it's 12. Let's just really hope that that propane tank is sitting in one of the higher areas. So this is all pile supported, and then we're just digging out underneath to get your flood storage. But you access it literally over a short bridge.
Yeah, and how steep is that ramp you putting in? And
No, it's not steep at all. I mean, basically our let me see.
the cross section of it?
Yeah, I've got the architect's renderings. It's basically gonna be just about flat. Because your base. Yeah, your base is right here, and it's a garage with an office space above. So the idea is floodwaters can come underneath. We've got the table on the plans that shows we generate surplus of flood storage at every incremental foot.
So it's raised 2 feet in some locations, but in some other locations, it's almost at grade.
Yeah, because we're having to be at the highest part of the lot to minimize flood impacts, but also to be able to compensate for those flood impacts. Because if we're too low, if we're too far out to reach it, we have to fill more floodplain, and we don't have enough area above 12.4 to create the higher incremental foot, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, what I'm seeing is that it kind of accomplishes the 2 foot differential by putting it somewhere where it's at grade.
Yeah, pretty much at the front, but there is still a drop here. It's not significant, but this is also the architect's section. It's not the engineer's section. So, we have a flood wall, or that retaining wall. I'm not sure that this accurately is depicting this portion of it. When I look at this, it looks like the architect may have actually been drawing this with the existing grade, and after this was created, my guess is the flood storage was added. So I don't know that I have a good section to show you the flood storage. Because when I look at this, and then I look at our, actually, here we go.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
I'm
so
looking
there
at
you
that
go.
one
So
right now.
this is what the engineer did. So the engineer took the architects and adjusted it. So it still is not way up in the air. So you've got your little ramp right here, which has an earthen ramp that leads up to it, so that, the constructed sort of bridge part is pretty short.
Yeah, that's gonna sit on the wall too.
Yeah.
Notch in the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, and that wall is right at the property line. Or-
Right.
So the other part of the ramp there is in the right of way.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like anytime you have a roadway and you put a curb cut in to get to your property, you have a driveway, so it's a driveway that leads to it.
So that filling is off of the site, it's not on his property.
Well, the filling that's in the floodplain is the piles. That's it.
Okay, but that small ramp.
This is outside the flood. It's above the flood elevation, it's below here. And the existing grade is out of flood at that point.
Yeah, so you didn't have to create that much flood storage compensation, because it was really just the
Right,
volume of the pilings that were
right.
involved.
If
Yeah.
we had tried to either fill to do a driveway further out, or even use piles to do a driveway further out, you know, we probably could have done that, but then what's the cost of getting, 20 feet into the property with a pile supported, essentially at that point, a bridge?
Mhm.
So that office, I assume it has heat.
Yeah,
It's own separate furnace or is
I assume, I mean, or it could very well be nowadays with the new, energy codes and everything, it's mini splits typically.
is there running water in there, or is it just?
I assume that, I don't know the details of that part of it, I know it did go to zoning, it did get, a variance approved.
Jennifer,
Yeah, she did, she looked at this thing. So that's-
Yeah.
There's a bathroom.
Well, there's a
It's a
bathroom.
yes, it's a kitchen you don't have, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, so,
Right, although accessory dwelling units are allowed now. so-
right, I mean, the thing is, they live in the old mill building. There's not a lot you can do to make more space. So this is a way that they, A, can have a sheltered area to park their cars, and B, have a little bit more space.
Because I don't think they have sewer out there.
Yeah, how would they?
They must.
I don't think they do, because they're downhill from any sewer main, and there's no pump to get it up the hill there. I don't know.
They're pretty close to the river for a septic though, also.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure I know what it was 75 years ago,
Yeah,
but
Curzon Mill has sewer, just don't know how far down it goes, but I would,
Well, there's no pump down there to get it back up the hill.
well, sometimes if it's a single family, they can actually have a pump unit. So, there may not be a pump station.
There's half a dozen houses now.
So the piping would be exposed underneath the,
yeah, there'd have to be a utility chase underneath the building for water
Mhm.
service to go up. My guess is if they have water, they also have sewer.
Yeah.
if they have a bathroom, they have to.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
kinda have to.
Right,
Right, my guess is the sewer probably, it may run just in an insulated shaft across with the bridge from the road.
Mhm.
I don't think you come down and then up, I think
go through the bridge
you go, yeah.
Adjacent to.
until it freezes.
No, I mean, there's a lot of, like, if you look at some, town and city and highway bridges, you often see, there's insulated sewer lines that are running, and ways there.
We need a little information, since we're gonna get information on the propane tank and the generator.
Yeah, I'll find out that, I'm actually curious on that.
Yeah, it'd be good to know if they're exposed
Mhm.
and could be impacted by the water, flood
Yeah.
water.
Yeah, I mean, they would be, typically, either, well, first of all, you want them watertight, right, a sewer line, but, it's gonna be designed to be protected from the elements
Mhm.
to enter in there, but I can find that out.
I've walked down that road many times. I mean, there
Yeah.
are no manholes.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
looking,
It just would indicate whether or not there's additional trenching that might be involved in construction that isn't reflected in these plans.
Yep.
For utilities and stuff.
so there's a drain manhole over here, but that's not, hopefully not where the sewer's going, right? It could be that you have a cross-country sewer line, That often happens. It's not in the road.
Just through this.
So you may just not be seeing some sewer manholes.
Yeah.
Could be
off, yeah.
You know, like there's a cross-country sewer line, like the pump station on Hale Street. There's one that runs right out into the wetlands. I don't know if you guys remember from that ANRAD, but there's like an upland mound that was flagged because the sewer line kind of runs out and runs cross-country through wetlands to go quite a distance, so. It's not unheard of,
I don't know where it would go cross country though, without going up the hill.
yeah, I don't know either. I mean,
Anyway,
Okay, we'll try to incorporate some of those details into our update for the next meeting.
yeah, so we'll do that, and I guess what I would ask though is the quantity and general concept, other than just addressing the issues of, are these things gonna be problems in a flood, which we'll do. Is the general 6 to 8 shrubs in that area, adequate mitigation, provided we address all that other stuff?
I would think so.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanna make sure that, you know, we try to get this continued just one more time.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's any members of the public that you wanna call in?
I shall. Anybody from the public want to speak? Anybody out there? No? Okay. So you want to continue into the next meeting?
Yes, please.
Is that the 21st?
either January 21st.
Second. All right, Steve?
Yes.
Dave? Yes. Barb?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. The motion to close the public hearings. So moved. Second. Steve?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Barb?
Yes.
I vote yes. All right, let's see here. Next items are enforcements and violations. First one is 2 Basin Street.
Yeah.
Peter, yeah, how are you?
Nice to meet you. Okay.
Peter Nicholas.
I pulled up, let's see, a couple of pictures. Violation notice that we issued to, Mr. How do you pronounce? Nicolakopoulos, okay. And we have a couple of photos. Again, this was, a neighbor that had called and said that there was a new, impervious paver patio that went in on the corner of Basin Street. And as you can see, these are the pictures. Let's see, here's the assessor's map. So this is the site, in fact, this is like from 2022 or 2023. So this area behind the house is used for parking. And then, these are the Google Map photos that you can see. So why don't you go ahead?
No problem. Thank you, folks. This residence I purchased for my father who lives in Greece. He's actually coming in a couple weeks. And again, I didn't know that I was supposed to get permits for this, but he does use a walker and a wheelchair. So my thought was pulling up into the other 2 spots and then giving him an area to go into. We were talking about putting a chairlift to get a permit for that when we come to that point. Luckily, he doesn't need one yet. But that's, again, I didn't know, and my apologies, but I just did that more for ease for him to get in. He's 6 months in Greece, and then 3-4 months he comes and visits us during the winter time.
Comes here in the winter time.
Well, you don't want to leave Greece in the summertime, you know, so that's the thing, yeah, so. Mainly for health checkups and whatnot.
Is this his house or your house?
I own the house, yeah, I own the house. He did live with us, for quite some time to keep the marriage afloat. I kind of, bought another residence for him, to live in.
So basically, when he comes in, how do you, using the wheelchair or walker, where does he go with that?
He doesn't drive, I usually
Okay.
pick him up the drive, so I mean, I'd back up into the space and he's on that side.
So where's the entryway?
Is this, we don't use the front door, there's a side, I don't know if you can see it, if you want me to kind of get up and show you, sorry.
I've looked up.
Yeah, I got you. So the first guy, so there's a back stairs coming up this way right here. That's the side entrance that he uses.
Yeah, this new.
It's pretty much, this is an old picture, I'm assuming, right? That you showed?
Yeah.
So it's pretty much starts right here.
Yeah, it goes off, it goes to the back.
Yeah, this is the back. So that's the entrance of the door is this way right here.
On the other side of the white?
Yes, sir. Yeah, kind of next to the neighbor's house.
Is there no vegetation anywhere on the
There was
property?
none on the property, no. In the front, there's a couple. Yeah, there was never any existing.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
looked
actually
at the
put,
picture
sorry for that, you can actually
like
see,
that forever.
I added some, just for, I kind of moved it for the winter time, to give some privacy.
Look at the overhead picture again.
Yeah. This is 2023, but I went way back to
Yeah.
like 2014, and it's pretty much the same the whole time.
Yeah, there's no.
I'm always parking back here.
So on the. Can't read the street names there.
This is Basin.
That's Basin, yeah.
64th.
So-
64th and Basin, so we kind of pull into the 64th, we typically go that way, there's not a lot of room in the front.
So on the Basin Street side of the house there, that's all bare ground essentially.
Where's that, sir, I'm sorry?
On
In the
Basin
front?
Street.
That's like pebbles, there is a couple bushes there now. And again, not, one of the main reasons why I just, again, some ignorance is this whole driveway is paved, it's like, I didn't really know that there was an issue. Seeing that the whole, neighborhood had pavers, that's kind of my fault and my error. But there are a couple bushes, right over here, there was some fake, they had some fake plants kind of, and. over here.
Oh, those are fake plants?
No, that I
Yeah.
removed,
Yeah, you can see those in the pictometry, but
So clearly what you did, we wouldn't permit. But you had a good reason for doing it.
Yeah, again, it wasn't any ill will, I own businesses in town, and I try to do everything, the right way, it's just, it's just thinking for him and it's kind of a quick situation. If there's any plantings that I could put on the property, I'd love to do that, I just don't know, what's allowed in the front or along the side, if they would. I mean, along the side might be tough because I know there's plowing over there and they it's not really tight over, it's really tight over there.
yeah.
But I would be more than happy to add something somewhere. For the fact that you say, I put planters, during the summertime to make the property look better, but there's not much going on over there.
Can we go back and look at the patio area?
So if you see along the wall, there was I just put some movable, planters that I kind of did that. Yeah, I just kind of moved them out for the winter over there against the wall. Kind of gave them a little sitting area.
Go back to that previous one, Julie. Okay, so that, okay. And the door is off around to the right.
Yes, sir.
In that area.
So also, I assume on the 64th Street, it's the 64th Street we're looking at, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Is that bare ground off the pavement there?
This all.
That's all like kind of pebbles right there, so, yeah.
So that's basically sand under there and everything, right?
Whatever it was previous to me purchasing it, yeah.
That, where we're going here is, we'd like some mitigation of some sort.
Right.
Because, we would have never approved that.
But like I said, you had a good reason for doing it.
Yeah, I'm not saying you don't.
No, I understand that,
Yeah.
and I'd be more than happy to, work with you guys on that.
Yeah, I think it would be. I think it would be good if. We can get some sort of a mitigation plan with plantings, if you could get somebody to figure out what and where they could put something there.
Okay.
Beach grass and native shrubs and.
Yeah, put all the native shrubs you want there.
That's be in the back or the front or like,
Wherever you've got bare ground.
Wherever there's a spot to put it, and you know, if that, where that brown area is up to the patio, if that's. If there's any way you can put something in there,
I
that was,
just feel like a lot of people just drive up there, you know what I mean, it's really tight over there, sometimes you'll see two cars kind of coming at the same time. And I
well,
just
you
see-
have your bushes there, they'll
No,
have to,
yeah, I got
they'll
you.
stop and, we'll have to deal with that.
Sure, and that's like, even along the houses where I was telling you, they had like the fake kind of ones along over there, but, yeah, I mean, if there's something that would, you know.
No,
Plant and fit there, then
we-
we'd be more than happy to put something on there along the side of the house right there.
we probably would have approved something to assist your father to
I
get in
understand.
there, probably not that much.
I understand that.
So I would like to see some plantings of some sort there and bushes, something that, you know, you guys smell that, right?
Well, I saw
Yeah,
clean,
but
yeah,
like,
that's
Clean,
clean.
yeah, somebody's cleaning, yeah. I think that's something.
It's more clean.
We would have having a stroke.
What's the square footage of your,
I can tell you, I don't know that.
I mean, maybe just something that the same approximately. Square footage?
Yeah, something like that. if you
So
could-
shrubs, beach grass.
Okay. All right,
Julia has.
add it onto the property.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah, we can follow up with you on that.
that's fine, okay.
okay.
I
And
appreciate
this
you.
plan, I mean, obviously, it's winter, that ground is gonna be frozen,
Right,
we
right,
haven't put anything in there right
Right,
now.
right.
But in the spring, when things start to loosen up a little bit for the first growing season, try to get something in and established.
Okay,
And then we can
and
check in
that's
with
something
you.
I can just email you or send you pictures.
Yeah,
or
you can
whatnot.
send me
Okay.
pictures and we can just check in with you in the spring about
Okay,
it.
I appreciate that.
We had an awful hard time getting hold of you.
I didn't think, I don't know why.
Yeah, we didn't have your correct address initially, and then you had purchased it and I think, when did you purchase?
It's been over a year, like it was August of 2023.
So I think the assessor's file still had the old
The bills never
owner.
get fined, they
Yeah.
never look at the bills and the taxes.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, that's what I was thinking, he gets his tax bill.
Yeah, I get that quickly, you know. Well, I own Pomodoro's in the Rotary, so I'm there 24/7, you guys can come in anytime you want, so that's it, so. But no, I'll be more than happy to do that, and I think it would add value in views.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it will, we'll make it look nice too, so,
Alright.
anyway, thank you.
I thank you for your consideration.
Thanks.
And I'm not the one that brought the Lysol and.
We gotta get out of here.
He still lives there, he's in Kalamata, south of Athens.
Okay.
With the others.
Nice,
All good stuff.
yeah.
So this is my plan, I think the meeting is going too long.
Oh, you just spread some of that stuff? Oh, good.
Thank you for your time.
Alright, thank you.
Sure, that's my wire. Thank you.
Okay. We better get out of here before we
Yes,
need medical
yeah.
attention.
Mr. Chairman, did you, deal with Bain, the COC?
Yeah, you're
without
all
me?
set.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could have asked us earlier.
All
I
set.
didn't want to interrupt.
No, we're all set, Rob.
Okay,
Right.
thank you very much for taking care of that.
There's one other.
There is one other one, let me pull that up, the other one's 8 S Street.
Oh, yeah. They're not here tonight, they've hired a lawyer.
Oh, boy.
This is,
What are they?
this is a new structure that was
Oh.
built without a building permit, without, come back in 20. I can't even remember what it was, 2019 or 2021. And, I went out there and addressed it at the time, because it was being built without a permit. And they said they were building a mobile home, it's on wheels, and it was gonna be moved off site, they were just building it on site. And that was 5 years ago. So it hasn't moved once, there's flower boxes,
Yeah.
It is actually on wheels, but it is considered now permanent structure because it's not temporary, it's been there over 180 days. So the assessor's office now has it on their card and is taxing it. So we're looking at it as now it's a permanent structure, they have no permits. It may not even be allowed under zoning, it's in the V zone,
Oh, it's in the V zone too?
yeah, so they hired Gleason's office team.
Well, that's nice. What's on wheels?
Haven't seen her in a long time.
So that's all I have, they're gonna be getting in touch and come in with a,
Okay,
something.
all right, and, in that case, I will take one more.
Well, before we do that,
Oh, God, Steve, I'm getting woozy.
We're gonna die here.
if we're losing 4 members,
Yeah,
we won't have a quorum.
well, we,
I'm gonna be, well, I can't come to the next meeting, but I'll be to.
And Bill will be
to
here.
that.
and I'm not gonna be here for the next meeting either, by the way.
Neither will Carol.
Where's the time?
Like, I'll be here, I think.
21st, yeah.
Unless it turns out to be a hiking day.
Carol will not be here.
And I won't be here.
I'll
You won't be
communicate
here.
with all of you guys over email and find out who.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
You know, it's not helping you.
It's
at all.
I know, but it feels like it is.
Okay,
All right.
motion to adjourn.
All right,
Second.
all in favor? Aye.
Yes.
Sorry, Gretchen, we have to get out of here.
What did they pour?
Oh, that's like stripper or something, that's like wax stripper or something.
It's like
I,
really
I
bad.
recognize the smell.